Hello everyone, this is Lord Westley, the extraordinarily and obviously less than average gamer who really does wish he was a British lord, coming back with another commentary video on Empire Earth, except this time it's not going to be a game per se. It's going to be me doing some editing on the scenario editor, specifically trying to make an island, and I'm going to go through a few to sort of give you an idea of what I normally do. I didn't really think this out very much beforehand, so I'm just going to go and load one at random. These are previous maps I've made on Empire Earth via Scenario Editor. This is generally to give you an idea of what my model tends to be. I like to have a big entrance. I like to sort of have grandeur. As you can tell, this is just a ton of crap. Cordoned off section for an imagined elite of my city. Two of them, of course. Supposed to represent the bi-party system that tends to be found in most Western societies. And by most, I basically mean Great Britain and America. And specifically Great Britain because, you know, I do love the British. And of course there's a royal area. This is just crap. Don't even bother with that. If you don't know how to do scenario editing, don't care. Don't worry about it. Anyway, there's always a grand entrance in my cities, which always leads to some sort of center, normally the capital, and then, you know, part off there's always a military base near near my entrances, of course, and then you have here what I like to call the Pearl area, where the center of the city is supposed to be, even though this is technically the back. But the Pearl is like a very defended part, and that has, well, one of three things: an area which I like to call Parliament, which I like to use the Library of Alexandria for, just because I like that. There's a royal area, which is represented by some sort of royal building in a massive courtyard. And I tend to, of course, have my my wonders everywhere. Yeah, this was one of the bigger cities I made, and I actually don't really play this one very often. It's also one of the only ones where I made the city in the Bronze Age specifically. I normally play in the Industrial Age, as you might know if you see my games. This is just resources. I try to style it like some sort of like prison camp, but that obviously just failed miserably. I made my enemy's base here. This is one of the few times I actually did that. Because again, this was before I really understood how to play against other people on Scenario Editor. I figured that out, which I wish I'd done sooner. But yeah, I like symmetry. I like making things look neat. Obviously, I can sort of step away from symmetry, as you might have noticed when I come over here. There's obviously a difference between this side and that side, which is fine. But for the most part, I do try to keep symmetry. I did step away from that. Let's go to this one. I hope this is right. I don't know. I don't always go for big. Although this one. Oh wow, this is stupid. This was not originally supposed to go up to the atomic age. I only loaded up a few scenarios. I keep most of them on my desktop right now, and yeah, these anti-aircraft guns are not supposed to be here. But essentially, this is again royal area and Parliament, which basically keeps the same sort of setup in most of my games. Library of Alexandria, a couple town centers, gated off, and then, you know, you have harbors. Again, this is not how I thought this was actually going to be. I just grabbed a few scenarios that I thought were going to be good representations of what I normally do, and then I put them in the Empire Earth folder, and I didn't actually bother looking at them, which is unfortunate. And you'll see I like using British infantry. I did figure out how to, you can actually make British infantry if you allow yourself to. This was just crap. I made so much stuff that the game started to lag because I don't... Okay, this is just a bad representation. Let's go to the next one. Alright. What the taco? Okay, this is one where I went for small, but neat. So it's just a small island. Again, I went for another Parliament type building, because I'm always sort of liking this idea of having a Parliament area and then a royal... The Tower of London, which is nice, and of course British infantry again. Again, I don't have very much experience in Scenario Editor, but I do have most of my experience lies in just basically building things, putting things up, making islands, making walls, making cliffs and things of that nature. So yeah, there is a bit. Most of this was actually done in Scenario Editor. Yeah, so what I'm actually going to do eventually, this one I think again I went for something big. Main entrance, several walls, and I always make the walls super powerful so I don't have to go back and repair them all the time. I don't like worrying about that kind of thing in this scenario. I figure if this is for fun, I might as well make it to where it's fun and have to worry about that kind of crap. This one was one of my prouder achievements. It's massive, extraordinarily massive, as you can see. Gates in the water, useless. They don't do anything. They don't open, they don't close, and ships can pass right through it, so no real issue there. But this river goes to the back, where my royal palace is, but also bisects the city, so that you have a separation from the bottom half to the top half, and you have the resources in the top half, as well as the pearl area. And a harbor on both sides. Again, it's not really practical. I mean, you can't really be doing this kind of thing in an actual game, especially if you're playing against a person. I mean, unless, of course, you build up the strength of your walls and make sure that they don't get the same sort of improvement. But this one I did break away from just making rows of houses and try to make tiny little neighborhoods, which I again try to incorporate in my future cities. Resources here again, 2 sectioned off areas for elites of the city. Resources sectioned off, and then again the pearl again sectioned off from the rest of the city. You have the royal area, a military base, parliament, and then you have what I like to call Downing, prime minister, parliament, and the monarchy. So these are the kind of things I try to keep in my main city. I always, again, like to go for something big, grandeur, neighborhood type things. Sectioned off areas for, like a nicer little neighborhood. And again, the trifecta. Well, I don't know. I don't always care for making a set. I normally just focus on parliament and a place for a king. Or in this case a queen, because I'm going to be playing the industrial age, so I'll be using Queen Elizabeth, who you can actually get to make as a hero during that age, if you're not familiar with the game, that is. That's how it is. And then, once I realized that you could sort of play this game with other people, when I realized how you could do that by going in and manipulating the files in the folder, I did that. Now you can tell there's a ton of red and a ton of blue. So what happened here was, we played the game, I edited, we played the game, we edited, and we went in and out, and my friend actually made the blue section here, after I straightened out the other. He got okay with it. You can tell it's not very practical. But then again, neither is mine. This I actually built, while I was playing the game. And then I went in and I started adding things, but you can tell obviously I manipulated the islands here to sort of make little harbors and things of that nature. This island I captured first in the game. I surrounded it with towers, and then after we paused, we went into the editor and I fixed it up to make it look like this. Yeah, so this is a nice little island defense thingy-majigger thing. One of the things that was actually nice with playing with my friend here is, because I've never really played Empire Earth in a scenario with a friend before. Normally when I play with a friend, it's obviously either against each other or, as we normally did, against the computer, because we never really played other people, although I did play a bit online. This game, again, grandeur, you could say copied this opening from another map I showed earlier. Well, I mean, at least this 3-gate opening here. We have 2 going off to military bases, and then a main center avenue which goes straight to Buckingham Palace. And it's the first map where I ever made Buckingham Palace. And I've been playing this game for years. Well, I've had the game for years. I haven't actually played this game every year I've had it. I just was fortunate enough to actually save the scenario files, and that way I never lost them. And although I did lose a few, don't get me wrong. And here's his little embassy, which is hilarious because my embassy is huge, and I got a area to land units onto his island. And he made a zoo, which is hilarious because I put my people in there. And I filled this up with tigers, and you can tell I made them super strong. And then I had his king. His name is Alexander, so he has Alexander as his king. And yeah, the gates opened, the tigers rushed him and killed him, which was hilarious and wonderful. And yeah, he's the Eiffel Towers. And this is also the time when I realized how to, when I learned how to play against other people, I also started looking up other things in our part, like how to name certain things. So this is named Parsons School of Design, because that's what he wanted to name it. This is named Le Petit Atrium, which is something he wanted me to name it. And I renamed the British Infantry, which is quite literally called British Infantry, which is like really lame. But I went in and I renamed them Royal Marines, and then I got renamed the Elite Guard Lieutenants and the Grenadiers Colonels. They don't really, it doesn't change their abilities whatsoever. I wanted to name it that to sort of give some semblance of structure. I got this long passageway, which is really, really just lame. It's nice, I like it, but at the same time I'm sort of realizing it's not really practical. This was the main island. Again, just military bases, entrances. And of course Parliament area. This time only went for one sectioned off area for elites, but that's okay. And the Tower of London. So now what I'm trying to do is actually sort of incorporating all this into a new city that I'm building now, because what happened was we were playing this game, and you know, every time we finished, we'd sort of go back to the scenario editor, add things, fix things up, blah 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 blah, and he's on the Wi-Fi. His network card supports 15 megabytes per second on Wi-Fi, which is, you know, extraordinarily slow given what this game is now going to be requiring. Because what happened was I made this huge navy, and then he made his navy. Wait, what happened to his navy? Did I delete it all? I guess not. Or maybe this is before he actually made it. Anyway, well, he started making his navy, I started making my navy, and if you can tell, while I was playing the game, I actually started filling up all my fortresses as he did, and the game just started to lag like crazy for him. Unfortunately, his computer can't really handle it. Mine can. My computer's running i7 with, yeah, the graphics card's like the worst thing on my computer, and that's already like 3 times better than whatever he has, and way too good for this game. The problem was we started off with another player, our third player, which was going to be his ally, because he's not the most experienced player, and so I also, because I played this game a lot longer, I can build a lot more quickly and capture islands very quickly, so I gave him an ally to sort of even things out. Oh, and I have HMS Victory. I use a Renaissance ship because I couldn't do it with all my ships. Yeah, so right now I'm working on empire building. Oh, really? Well, that sucks. Well, good time to end the video anyway, right?